everybody out there on YouTube, back again with another video. So today we about to talk about the credit game. All right, the most important thing that will get you denied for credit is derogatory. Late payments, missed payments, flat out just saying I'm not about to pay you. All of those type of things is the main thing that's going to get you denied for credit. We get a job and we start trucking, right? The first thing we want to do is we want to make all the money, right? We want to make the most money possible, right? But in reality, that's only one part of it. The other part of it is credit, building credit. Either it's for your personal reasons or for business. As far as the personal side, when we start to build credit on the personal side, let's say you have some derogatory things on your credit right now, like some late payments or, you know, medical bills or whatever the case may be. You want to sort those things out before you start to try to like build your credit back up, right? You want to sort out the derogatory things first, because that's the number one thing that's going to be holding your credit down. And that's the number one thing that's going to get you denied when you try to go apply for things. So you want to work on those. Now, two things. The first thing is that if the items on your credit that are derogatory, if they're brand new, you want to try to get them taken care of right now. Like, you want to try to, you know what I'm saying, call the places that you have these accounts with and settle with them, try to come up with some type of payment plan and get them to remove that off of your credit and saying that you're in good standing and you're paying them and you're working it out. The second thing is, if it's pretty old, if it's 3-4 years old, I would say 3 years, you might still want to work it out. 4 years, I would say just kind of like let that roll off, because in 5 years on TransUnion, you know, it's going to roll off your credit, or Equifax. I know one of them is 5, one of them is 7. So I think Equifax is 7. I could have them reversed. It could be TransUnion at 7. But for 7 years, for the most part, 7 years, any derogatory thing that you decide not to pay is going to roll off of your credit regardless within 7 years. So you would have to make that decision for yourself whether or not you want to wait 7 years for something to just, you know, be removed from your credit. The first thing you want to do when you want to restart the building process and you have derogatory things on your credit. So also too, at the same time, while you're working on getting those things removed, you need to work on also too getting something to report positively to kind of like offset the derogatory things, so that they can see if they pull your credit that, okay, yeah, you know, they didn't pay this, but they do have these accounts over here that they're pretty active on and they're making the payments on time. So that will kind of offset a little bit. That won't make your score grow that much, but it would show some positive impact on your credit while you're working on the derogatory stuff. So that's the first steps that you need to do right now. If you know you have derogatory things on your credit, you need to work on getting those removed. The next scenario is, let's say you don't have any credit, and this is if you got derogatory credit as well. You should start off with a secured card. You can start off with anyone, you know, start with your bank right now. If you are with the bank right now, and this goes for whether you have good credit or bad credit, because typically if you bank with someone, they got information to your banking data and they can actually approve you and give you a credit card with, you know, with a minimum spending limit just based on your relationship with the bank and how much income you got coming into the bank. They will approve you based on that and not so much your credit score. So I recommend, you know, whoever you bank with right now. See, me, I have a few different bank accounts and I have a credit card with every single bank that I bank with. So if my money's in their accounts, I pretty much have a credit card through them to build that relationship. Because just a little side note, the reason why for that is that if I go to apply for credit, or I want something like, let's say I'm in trucking, right? Let's say I want a truck, a trailer, or whatever the case may be. Being that I have relationship with banks already, I don't have to go to these dealerships and ask them to apply for lending on my behalf. I can go to them already knowing the amount that I want to spend and pay, already knowing my payments and everything, and don't have to worry about whether I'm or not that I'm going to get approved. I'm already approved, and that alone helps you renegotiate the price, because you are in control. When they're in control and they're going to apply for credit for you, they could say, yeah, you know, we got you approved for this much and this amount of money, and they can make all kind of money on you on the back end. So just be aware of that. That's why you want to have banking relationships with multiple different banks. So let's say your credit is clean, you're brand new, you're fresh, you're getting started, you're getting into trucking, and you know, you're brand new, fresh, you didn't destroy your credit or you didn't do anything wrong with your credit, you just don't know where to get started. Then you can get a secure card with your bank. If you can't get that, I would go to Open Sky. You can Google it, Open Sky credit card, because they do not do a credit check. Okay, they're not going to do a credit check. It is your money though, so the minimum payment that you would have to put down is $200, but I recommend $500. I would highly recommend $1,000. Give them $1,000, and then that's going to start reporting to the credit bureaus positively on your credit, and you're going to have a credit limit of $1,000. So I'm not going to get into it right now. For those who want the information, I'm not going to get into it right now about like what you should do with a credit card as far as like how to use it and credit limit and stuff like that, and how credit works, because I'm going to talk about that stuff in later videos. But I am going to say, when you do get this credit card from either one, your bank, the Open Sky card that I'm talking about, you don't want to let it report that you're using the full balance. You want to use it and pay it off in full every single month. So this strategy that we're talking about right now is not for you to get the money and use it and don't pay it back. You're not supposed to use money that you don't have anyway. Just use it on things that you're going to pay for it anyway. Like if you want to pay your phone bill, if you need some gas, if you want something to eat, and you're going to use your own money to buy it, you would use the credit card, purchase those things, and then take that money and pay it right back. That's how you use your credit cards responsibly, by using them, getting the points, because you want cash reward cards. You know, once you start to get, you know, in the credit game, you're starting to build your credit, your credit's good. We want to go for the cash reward cards. You want to use your credit cards, get the cash back, and then be able to use those points to buy and purchase things like that. So that type of information is for another video, but that's some of the things that we want to talk about when it comes to building your credit. So right now, we need to start establishing credit, because if you're on your trainer truck or you're team driving right now, you need to start working on your credit right now. So if you have a bank account, want to look and see if they have credit card products for you to use. So if they do, a good way to know whether or not you're going to be able to get approved for it or not is have Credit Karma. All right, you got download Credit Karma, download the Experian app, you know, Credit Sesame. I just recommend having, you know, Credit Karma and the Experian, because that's going to give you the three. What I like about Experian, they're going to give you your FICO score, and it's totally free. You download Credit Karma, they're going to give you an estimate of what your TransUnion and what your Equifax credit scores are. And you take a look at those and make sure that you don't have any derogatory things on there. You should be good to go to apply for your first credit card. And if they don't approve you, they're going to offer you a secure card. And if they don't want to do it, you can go to Open Sky, who are not going to do a credit check, and you will be able to obtain your first credit card, keep it for 6 months to a year, and you would definitely just pay the payments on time, don't miss a payment, pay it off in full, and you will qualify for pretty much any starter credit card out there with any bank, and you will be on your way to rebuilding your credit or establishing your credit. Another very important reason why this is important, why credit cards is important. Credit cards make up for the majority of your credit. So if you hear people and they talk about, oh, I would never get a credit card, I don't want a credit cards is this, credit cards is that, I guarantee you that their credit scores are not where they're supposed to be at, or not anywhere near the potential that it could be. Because credit utilization, is part of your credit score. The main thing it talks about in your credit score is payment history, the age of credit. All of these things reflect directly to credit cards. So the longest age of credit that people has is they had a credit card for years and years and years. You don't get a mortgage until you're in your 30s, but you've had a credit card since you were in your 20s, and that's normally the longest account that people have, it be their credit card. So that's a factor in your credit. Making the payments on time is huge. That's like makes up the most, because as soon as you miss the payment, it's going to drop your score. Utilization, if you have a $1,000 credit card and you're using $900 of the balance, that's going to drop your credit score tremendously. So those three things are the main three things that affect your credit, and it all pertains to credit cards. All of it pertains to credit cards. So that's why it's so important. So when you're building credit, is to have credit cards. And once you start obtaining credit cards, getting approved credit cards, you want to be able to increase the credit limits and get more credit cards because you want to overall too. Another thing that affects your credit, and this also is factored around credit cards, and that's your credit limit. So if you got that 1,000 limit, you want to raise that limit up to 50,000, which is good. 50,000 is what they're considered excellent, good credit. So I'll give you a perfect example. The reason why you want to get more credit cards is because another main thing that they factor when it comes to your credit score is how much credit limit, what's your credit limit that you have. They look at that as part of scoring your credit, which is all around a credit card. So to even get in the good category, you need to have 25,000 in credit limit. To get into the excellent category, you got to have over $50,000 in available credit. Not balance, not having 50,000 and you in credit card debt because you're using 25,000 of it, because you're supposed to have this big, huge amount of credit limit, but they don't want you to use it. You have to stay under 10% to be in the excellent category, and you're only considered in the good category. You'll be considered good if you're using 30% of your overall credit limit. So if you got 10,000 and you're using right around 2,500, rolling that over, meaning that you didn't pay the balance in full, then you're considered good. But if you have 10,000 and you're using zero or very little, then you're using less than 10% of your overall credit limit. And that's what the banks like to see trying to apply for a loan or an auto loan, but it is going to play effect into what type of interest rate that they want to give you when you apply for these sort of things. So just keep that in mind. Stay tuned, because coming up, I want to talk about and go a little bit into detail, you know, once you start getting credit cards and establishing your credit, because the most important thing right now is to know what affects your credit and what's affecting your credit right now, and what we can do right now to start building your credit and getting you on the right path. So I hope this video is helpful. Do it right now. Download Credit Karma, download the Experian app, and see what's on your credit report right now, and start working on the derogatory things and start applying for credit cards so you can start establishing your credit or rebuilding your credit. Start somewhere. Find somebody that's going to give you a credit card. Do not overspend on your credit card. Pay it off in full every single month, and I promise you, you will see your credit scores go up. You can watch and see it for yourself. Credit Karma app, keep the Experian app. Do what I tell you. Get you a credit card, apply for a credit card, and watch your credit scores increase month to month. And then all you do is come back here, and I'm going to tell you how we can expand that and keep growing it and keep your credit scores going up, up, and up. You don't even got to take my word for it. There's tons of other videos out there about it, but they want to charge you for the game. They ain't not about to tell you they're not about to tell you everything. But if you watch these videos step by step on what I'm about to drop for you, you'll be able to get your credit scores up. You'll be able to buy a truck, buy a house, buy a car, do whatever it is you think you want to do to be successful in your own life. So like, share, subscribe, and until next time, see you in the next video.